I'd like to build a little development tool here, and to kind of explain the problem, I've got a full stack application that I work on opened up here, and I've got Yarn running the front end, the development server, and then I've got the Go server running on the back end, and I'm not even done here. I need to run Nginx in the foreground with the config that I have in this project that proxies request to the appropriate service. So this means a lot of terminal windows. It means taking a little bit of time to kind of bootstrap this. And what I would really like is to have one command that I could run that would go ahead and fire all these processes off and gather all the output into one place. And then I can see it in one place. And so that's what we're going to build. So I've started a project here, an empty project. I've got the main function here. This is going to be in Go, so I have the Go module initialized, and I've also opened up the documentation to the exec package. And specifically, what we're interested in is this command type. It has a lot of stuff here that we need. And the easiest place to start here is just this command called function, which takes the name of the command and then a variable number of arguments. So let's just go ahead and start there. Let's run exec.command, and let's test this with the ls command, and we'll say -l, and we'll store this in a variable here. Let's save that. And we know we're going to need command.start. All right, that's going to fire this off. And as I just mentioned, we're going to need to, collect the output from this command. And the way I want to do that is with this standard out pipe function or method that returns this read closer. So let's go ahead and create that. So we've got command.standard out pipe, this one, which returns that reader and an error. So we'll say this would be standard out error. Say if error does not equal nil, format printf could not get standard out pipe from. This is the name of the command. We'll add a bit more detail about the error, and we'll say command.string, which returns the name of the command, and then of course the error. So let's save that. And to read from this, line by line, I think the best place to start is in the buff.io package and to use a scanner. So this returns a scanner. It takes a reader as a parameter. So we'll give this standard out. Store this in a variable, scanner. And then scanner.text is what returns the line as a string, which is what we want to print. So we'll say format.println scanner.text. And of course, we need to do this line by line. And that, to advance the line, we use scanner.scan. And so this will be the condition for our loop. So we'll say for scanner.scan. Oops, what do I do here? Okay, put this up here. So for each line, we're going to print out the text. That's basically what that says. Now this is going to have to be in front of that. This also returns an error. So we'll say if error does not equal nil, say format.printf could not start. Exactly. I want that. All right. Let's just go ahead and run that. All right. So say go run main.go. There we go. Perfect. But what we really want to do is to run multiple commands. Running one command is not interesting. So let's create a slice of commands here. And this is going to be an array of this exec.command type. And let's, if I get my mode correct here, commands equals append commands. Take that. And let's add curl to the mix here. We'll say wttr.in, since that has pretty interesting output. All right, and then we need to iterate over this. So we'll say for command in range commands, let's just put all this in here, and this will probably work. So let's go ahead and run that. Perfect. Now this is obviously only running one command and then the next, and what we really want to do is to run both of them at the same time. And to achieve this, we're going to use go routines. So let's just go ahead and create a anonymous go routine here. So we'll say go func, or say go func. Okay, like this. And let me put all this information right here. Save that. Delete that line, delete that line. And tab 9 gave us a suggestion when we created that function, so I should have, basically we need to pass command as a parameter to this function. So we'll say command is this type, and then we'll just pass it in here. Now this will kind of work. It shouldn't display any output because the program will execute or finish executing before these go routines finish. So what we really need is a wait group. So let's go ahead and create that. Let's create a wait group, and let's call this sync.wait group. And at the very end here, say wg.wait. Okay. And then before we fire off this go routine, we need to add one to the wait group. So we'll say wait group.add1. And then when we're done with our go routine, we need to say that we're done. So the best way to do that is to just use defer wg.done. Okay, so let's save that. All right, in theory, this should work now. All right, which does. I think it would be nice, because it's not obvious which command this output you're looking at came from. So let's go ahead and address that. I'm okay with just using the index and putting like the index of the command, like prepending each of these lines with that index number. So let's just do that. We'll change this to printf, and then we'll create a format here. So we'll say this first part is going to be a number, and then we're going to have the rest of the line here as a string. We're just going to use the index. So we'll start using that. Also, this needs to be passed as a parameter, so we'll say int, and then we'll pass I down here. Save that. Let's see what we get. Perfect. Now each of these lines, now we have some idea as to what command this output is coming from.